I mean, how you feel when you hear this piece of music now, having spent like all of your heart and all of your soul, all your blood, sweat, and tears on making this record, and knowing everybody else is getting to enjoy this for the first time, and the first time we press play on this, and you get these beautiful, soulful, black gold of the sun style piano chords that just nurture your soul, and then you hear it again, now it's out, Logic. How do you feel?
I feel like they should give you a Grammy for radio intros. That's a real thing. Also, I feel like I should have shaved my pervert mustache because I was doing radio and I didn't realize there's going to be 1,000 people in here.
Yeah, you know, let me take a look at that mustache for a second. Let me just go. It's so creepy.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I feel great.
At least you can finally grow one, though. Congratulations, you finally grow a mustache. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's all good.
That's amazing.
My wife hates it. She doesn't like it. I wish I could get like you, though, because like you got the beard. You know what I'm saying? That's gangsta.
I shave this once every 3 years or so when I'm on a holiday, and I look like really depressed. I look like it's bad. It's not a good look for me.
You look great.
Thanks, man. You look great.
Thanks.
You look relieved.
Yeah, dog. This is tight, especially me and my squad, because it's been 2 years. I've been working on this album since before The Incredible True Story, which is my last LP, came out. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's so cool that it's finally here. Man, I don't know. I'm just so stoked because like, I'm not a douche. I'm just a regular person. And it's so cool that like people like me. Not even that, but it's about acceptance of self. I'm just happy that people like the music. I mean, you know, I can just be myself. Like, can I cuss? No?
No.
Damn.
Once.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Just this once.
Thanks.
I apologize to anybody else that's around the world. But in honor of our guest, Logic, who joins us in the studio right now, that's your little album release present for you.
Thanks.
There's your album release present.
But yeah, I'm just so stoked, man. I'm just so happy because like what this message means, it's like so important. I don't know. This is crazy. This is the first time I talked to anybody since the album's been out too.
Well, you know, the thing is, man, I mean, I want to hold you. I'm going to hold you here. I'm going to hold you here. And then on the show, we're going to hold you down, and we're going to dive in and have some fun with this record.
I thought this was like a Patrick Swayze ghost moment for me.
I'm going to hold you. I want to interview you whilst holding you in a really emotional moment.
No, I appreciate that.
No,
man.
I think that what you've created here with the record must sound, like I said, are you relieved? Because ultimately, every step has been towards getting to the stage where you can actually tell your truth.
Totally, bro.
Tell your truth.
So cool. And I get flack for it, man. People, no matter what you do, they're going to hate on you. You know what I mean? And you have to understand that and come to that realization. And for a long time, you know, people would be like, your music sucks, or you're whack, or you can't rap, or you can't this. And that would kind of, it would hurt me and it would tear me down until I realized that music is subjective and it's art. And once you put it out there, it's not, I don't make music for the people that say, oh, you suck. I make music for the people who love it. So
engagement is a double-edged sword, though, Logic, because on the one hand, you get that side of it. And especially in rap and in hip-hop and in pop music and everything else, people are passionate about it, you know?
Yeah,
when someone
totally
steps up and puts himself on the line like that, yeah, you're going to be critiqued. And very viscerally. But the difference is, the flip of that is that as well as that, you also get these people, these fans that are tapped in right now and tapping in all the time because they know that you're live on Beats One.
Hey.
And they hold you down and they think you're incredible and they love your honesty.
Thanks.
And you're making new fans with this record. My kids are obsessed with this record.
That's crazy.
You told me that this record was something that you'd been kind of putting together even before your previous one. So you knew you had a selection of albums that created a concept, a long-form concept.
It's a quadrilogy. It all comes together through 4 pieces of work, which is really cool to tell one story, one sci-fi story with a very real undertone underneath it of a message, and you know. But I just love sci-fi, and I'm just a super nerd. So I was like, how can I take sci-fi and rap about that ish?
So when did you decide it was going to be a quadrilogy? Because that would suggest that 4 albums were, you know, you had that mapped out in your head before you even really began, because that's hard to put that in process as you're doing it.
It's hard to explain because it's really like with the first album, Under Pressure, you hear this female robotic voice giving you facts throughout the whole first album, and her name is Thalia. And then on the second album, which takes place in the year 2065, or actually it's 2115, but in the year 2065, the last human footprint was left on Earth before ascending to a space station called Babel, where there's only 5 million human beings left. And there is a space pilot named Thomas who picks up a man of infantry named Kai from the Babel space station on their way to this planet that they believe is habitable called Paradise, okay? And so that's the incredible true story. So on that second album, it's about these 2 guys on their way to Paradise, and they just so happen to be having a conversation about oldies music from 100 years ago, which just so happens to be a Logic album. And when Thomas picks up Kai, Kai says, what you been doing? And Thomas says, oh, I've just been listening to oldies, I've been listening to Logic. And he's like, what do you know about Logic? But the crazy thing is when you hear these facts told from this robotic kind of like futuristic Siri named Thalia, which you actually realize is on the first album, she was giving facts to Thomas, who was on his way to pick up Kai on the second album. And then once at the very end of the second album, they actually land on Paradise. So it's really cool. And then we go into this, and then spoiler alert, at the very end of this whole album, you find out that Adam and God, who are the main characters of this story, are actually in a universe, and Thomas and Kai have been walking on Paradise for over an hour listening to the third album.
Crazy.
And now they're about to play the fourth one.
Thank God it's all worked out. And working out. Can you imagine if it was like Lost and you got towards the end and it just was like... The last album was just the biggest anticlimax of all time.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Oh man, I'm totally lost. I totally mucked this up. Oh, man, on the second album, I totally took a left. I should have taken a right. How am I going to get out of this?
Yeah,
oh no.
It's wild. Yeah, but it's all there. It's already there, and it's already all written down, and it's exciting. And obviously we're here for the third album, but it's all there. It's all mapped out. And I don't want to stop here. I have films and TV and books and sci-fi books, like fiction books, and all these things that like I have and I'm writing and I'm doing and I'm working on. And I think that's also like balance. I just got this tattoo on my hand that says balance yourself. On my left it says happy wife, happy life, and then on my right it says balance yourself, because I wasn't balancing myself, and my wife is the thing that makes me super happy. She's the most important part of my life.
How long have you been married now?
I've been married for over a year and a half.
Amazing. Congratulations. It's huge.
Yes.
It does. It centers you and keeps you grounded,
Yeah, it's the best. She's my best friend, and it's so cool when your best friend has a vagina.
It's very true.
I'm just saying, it's awesome. It's great.
For people like us, and for other people, it could be something else altogether.
I'm kidding. But yeah.
But
I'm joking.
And how honest can she be with your music? Does she listen to a record and go, that sucks?
Dude, my wife does not know anything about rap, and it's the best.
Right.
It's the coolest, because when we met, I was just before my album came out. I was working. It was like 8 months before the album came out, and she was like, she has no idea like what. She doesn't get it, and that's the best part. She's a little pop Disney princess. She loves like One Direction and like Selena Gomez and stuff. So that's so cool, and like Taylor. So that it's just great because like you have no idea what I do. I'm just this guy. Which, I mean, and that's how I feel, like I'm just this guy, you know what I mean? But I'm just so happy that I found her early on, because I could only imagine with the growing success what it would be like to try to find someone, who really loves you for who you are. So I'm just really blessed that I found her, because she's the best. And she's also an incredible singer, and she sings all over this album. She does like duets and stuff, and it's really awesome. And she's working on her music right now, and it's the bomb.
It's great, man. And I think that when when I think about this album, there's a lot to discuss and a lot to dive into, but it wasn't always called Everybody, was it? At one point it had different working titles.
Yeah, the first title was going to be called God, but then I was like, oh man, that's kind of crazy.
That's lofty.
Yeah, but see, for me, it's not like, it's almost like Yeezus, right? When Yeezus came out, it's not like Kanye was, well, I mean, he was going around talking about,
pretty much.
But you know what I mean? Like, It was all conceptual. It wasn't like meant to be this negative thing. And then I was like, well, if I title this album God, even though the concept is about God, right? It's about this guy who meets God. So I was like, oh, but then I thought about it and I was like, So I was like, no. And then I was going to go with Africarian, which is, African and Aryan together, which is essentially my bloodline, right? You know what I'm saying? Just
that must have been an
and
interesting moment for you, because I remember you put that detail out there, and it kind of split opinion in some regards. And
yeah,
I wondered,
some people understood it and some people totally didn't.
But it must have set you up somewhat to what you were heading, because that would have been an opportunity for you as an artist, given how intense and honest you were going to be on this record. You're going to tell your life story.
Yeah.
And you were going to address some facts that some people just did not know.
Totally.
Right? And so this was the first taste of how people would react based on that working title. That must have really been a moment for you during the making of this record where you were like, all right, I'm going to really double down on this, or I'm going to have to retreat on this. And it sounds like you just doubled down on it.
Dude, I like quadrilogied down on it. No, but I like really went hard. And the crazy thing is that the change in the album title just had to do with the concept, because the more and more, so like think about it, it's really started off, it was still this concept, right? But a lot of it was heavy on myself and my race and who I am, because I'm just told you're this or you're not that or you're blah 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 or blah da da da, and it's just like, no, I am me, and I'm sick and tired of people trying to put me in a box, whether it's racially or stylistically or creatively or whatever. So it's like, no, I'm going to tell you guys who I am.
In fact, it's such a unique perspective for you to actually tell your story from, because it speaks to so many people of all those things that you want to reflect within everybody.
I was scared to do that, and I like how you ended that. But yeah, no, I was really scared to do that, and then the more and more that the concept evolved, the more it was about everybody and not just myself. But I was like, you know what? when I do talk about myself, I'm going to talk about the one thing. Because I've seen people, they've been like, oh, we get it. You're biracial. We get it. We get it. But nobody's like, we get it, Kendrick. You're black. Like, nobody's saying that. But I think it's just because of how I look. And it's like, yeah, I'm proud to be black. And I am not ashamed to be white. That's who I am. And whoever's out there of mixed race, like, be proud to be who you are and tell your story. I was scared that what's happening now was going to happen. But once I found acceptance in myself, and I was like, that's cool. If people want to be hella racist and make crazy remarks against my race, like, that's fine. But I made this for the people who feel the same way that I do.
Which ultimately, deep down in the heart of hearts and the soul of souls, as we're created and put on this earth, is in fact
everybody.
What I love about that is it's more than just reflecting your own story. For me, at least as a listener and a fan, you're taking a look at the way music is representing in an honest way or dishonest way. And it seems to me that, you're actually taking a look from above that and saying, I don't think that everybody is actually utilizing the platform they've been given or actually have created themselves. Yeah,
in many ways. Damn, that's real. You just really broke it down. That's what a lot that this album represents, because man, it must have been 9 months ago, and it was the height of everything going on with these with shootings and Black Lives Matter, and it was just really, man, it was just such a hard time, especially on myself, because there was people why aren't you hashtagging it? What are you, not black enough? What are you this and that and all this, and they're attacking me, and I'm like, man, first of all, there's so many disgusting, terrible deaths and shootings happening on the daily. It's almost like I can't even keep up. So why am I gonna go hashtag and put somebody else's name out there of some child or some man or some mother or sister or brother that I don't even know to capitalize because I have a voice to make it look like I'm a part of it? And I was like, no, man, all these people telling me you should do this or you should. I was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna educate myself and I'm gonna go make a whole album about it. And that's what I did. So it's I just used my power and my voice to just talk about equality and talk about people. And that's all. It ain't that deep, fam. It's it's just a positive album. And people could try to, you could love it, you could hate it, you could do whatever. But at the end of the day, truly, no matter what, whether you think I represent it well or I misrepresent or I this or I that, the whole album is about the fight for equality, because I believe we are born equal, but we are not treated equally, of every man, woman, child, race, religion, color, creed, and sexual orientation. And the end whole message is peace, love, and positivity. And if you hate that, well, you're just evil.
Amazing that you came out of a situation that was, by the sound of it, and if you think about a song, Take It Back.
Yeah.
And the struggle that you have, which sounds genuine, by the way, during the story at the end where you keep referring to he and then you keep flipping back to you.
Yeah,
and it's interesting.
Crazy.
It's interesting that.
Yeah, because I was doing that for real. Then
one
I was
take, right?
One take all
the way through.
Yeah.
You can hear it, man, because I love how it's funny you're using those tricks, in order to try and give yourself time to reframe and to gather your thoughts. Outside, I need to take a second to work out where this is going.
That was probably the hardest thing I ever had to do, was tell that story. Because originally, here's the crazy thing. Originally, when I made that song, I was in my room before I made my studio in my house. And I was in my room, and I was working on the record, and it was just a hook. Take it back, take it way back, take it way, way back to the first black man. And it was just a hook, and then it went into this 5-minute story. But I was like, yo, this beat and this hook is too hard. I was like, I gotta put a verse on it because I want to be able to perform this live. So then I put a verse on it, and I was like, damn, this verse is kind of crazy. So I kept it there, and yeah, I mean, that's the song. That's what it is. But I'm telling you, man, I was just super scared to make this album, and I'm glad. That's how I knew it was good. I feel like, because I was scared, because I was like, man, I feel it really evokes emotion. Because like I said, I was past the point of subjectivity. I was past the point of somebody being like, your music sucks. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. That doesn't matter. That doesn't hurt me anymore. But for somebody to be like, try to just say these racial things, or you never experienced that. That's what people do. They'll be like, yo, you didn't live that life. And I'm like, what? That doesn't even make sense. They're like, yeah, fam, you didn't live that life. And I'm like, okay. And then once I realized, once again, that other people's perception of my life is also subjective, then that's fine. It's cool, man, because I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. It just truly comes down to self-acceptance. And now that I'm happy with who I am, I mean, I've been happy, but truly I can look in the mirror, man, I can feel comfortable. Because people are like, oh, Logic's corny, fam, or Logic's this, or blah, blah, blah. But it's like, yeah, cool. But that's the biggest thing. It's it's at least I'm myself, man. You call me any names, you call me whatever you want, but fam, at least I'm me. I'm happy. I'm me. And that's all that matters. At least it's not like, look, he ain't even being himself. He ain't this. So it's like,
and that's still criticize you. But the worst thing is that you would be far more open to criticism of yourself. Yeah. Because like you say, this record is a direct and honest representation of your life as you've come up. And I think in this day and age, it should really be acknowledged as well that, in light of how we communicate with one another, with the pace and the speed at which we can communicate with people we don't even know. If I open myself up social message wise, social media wise to people's opinions and check them every single day, which I do, then I'm open to criticism from people who don't even know me. And what that does is that instinctively makes me want to get and tuck myself away, bury myself away and protect myself. So it means that actual transparency and honesty in this day and age is a hard thing to acknowledge because we're, like you say, afraid of what it's going to bring upon us. So it makes records like this even more kind of, I think, brave and brilliant, man, because, most people are hiding behind a veneer or something. We are. Not most people, we are. We all are in some respects.
Yeah, but I think it's hard for people to really come to terms with themselves and just to be able to, because like communication is a huge deal and transparency, right? But like you have to be able to talk to yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. And sometimes you don't want to do that. And it's like there's a lot of things that I'm even still scared of right now, just as a man. I want to be able to provide for my wife and the children I'll have one day and this and that. So I feel the need to like keep going. I was in the worst place, the most unhappy place of my life last year.
Why?
Because of my anxiety. And I was going through like the craziest anxiety and I was pulling in like, bro, you don't understand. Like I made millions of dollars last year and I was so unhappy. And that just goes to show that money does not make you happy and monetary gain does not make you happy and success doesn't make you happy. And I was on tour. I did over 130 shows. And I was doing meet and greets where I was meeting 100 fans, and it became like redundant, and it was like really messing me up because like I love fans and I love performing and I love this, but it was becoming like you have to do this. And then I was like, I have to do this if I want to be able to buy my house. I have to do this if I want to keep my manager and the label happy and this and that. And then I started doing things not for me, but because I wanted others to be happy. And then I said, screw everybody else. I have to be happy first. There's this little story, very quick story. It's basically like, I've heard this since I was a kid. You're at the bottom of the ocean with like an infant child, right? And you're about to lose your breath and you have a canister of oxygen. Who do you give the oxygen to first? A lot of people say, oh, give it to the baby so that the baby can survive. But the baby doesn't have the intelligence to grab it and hold the air to itself. So you have to give it to yourself first. Because if you can't stay conscious, you're not going to be able to keep both of you guys alive. And that's how I feel about myself. And once I put my foot down and I said, no, I'm not going to do this because it's going to make me unhappy. Sometimes we got to do stuff we don't want to do. We just got to work. We got to grind.
And we appreciate you being here.
No, I love being here. I love being here. but like legit, like, you got to go on tour for 6 months to go do this and that and to keep up, to stay relevant, this and that. But then, like, when I realized that it was affecting me and then it just destroyed me, my anxiety, bro, you have no idea. Like, it just tore me down and it really hurt me. And I was freaking out all the time and I was constantly thinking about death. And I was experiencing this thing called derealization where I was feeling out of my body at all times and like I couldn't control it. And what it really came down to was balance, nutrition, exercise for the most part, and just balance yourself and just rest. And so once I kind of understood that, I became very happy. And now this is the happiest Bobby that you've ever seen.
It's amazing, man. And, and that's why you've come out there and you said, listen, the next album will be my final because I have other things in life I want to go and achieve.
That's real, man.
That's cool.
That's real. And the crazy thing is, like, after this, like, the next one, like, not to get super into it, it's like, it's going to be celebration.
And this is where you pick up live with me and continue to tell that story from that point forward and how you ended up making that beautiful song.
Man, yeah. So I was there with my wife in Hollywood, and I just had this crazy feeling. I felt like I was going to pass out and like everything was like fading and getting really crazy.
Do you have that thing where you feel like you're going to fall backwards?
Dude, I felt like I was imploding into my soul. So
oh man, when last time I had one of those kind of panic attacks, man, I was on my way. I was in an Elton John concert.
What?
And I
saw him. Was it $1 Million Piano?
No, it was a small charity show in Los Angeles. Nice. He came out and played down the Wilton, and I was walking through, and I had a pint in my hand. I was with my wife, and I felt like I was going to go backwards, and I said, "Man, my legs are going to give way." And my wife's like, "No, you're just having a panic attack. You need to sit down." So I sat down, and man, didn't spill a drop of beer.
Hey.
But it was rough though, man. It was rough. When it hits you, it's rough.
It was really bad. But it was a culmination of like years, I think, of pressure. And then that's when I went into that derealization, which lasted a year, which was really crazy. And it was hard. And my wife didn't understand it at first because she had never really dealt with anything like that. And then she was very understanding and very loving as the months, grew on. And my whole team and my squad and my assistant Christian, he's like the biggest help and biggest part of it all. He's in here right now trying to play cool. But yeah, Star Christian, because I hired him at a time when I was in the middle of it, and we had known each other for years, but we had never worked together. He's also a nurse. And yeah, he went to school and got that education, you know what I'm saying? And no, but he like really like took care of me and made sure I was okay. And like I was just eating horribly, and I was drinking a whole bunch of soda all the time, and I was smoking cigarettes, and like all this just really just hurting my body. And he and my wife really stepped on it and was like, yo, you gotta, like, you really have to get yourself together. And I was telling myself that as well. That's why I hired him, and that's why.
It was time.
Yeah, it was really time, man, because like I'm 27, I'm not old, you know, but I'm getting older. I'm a man, and it's like I'm not 19. I can't just eat Twinkies and go skating and like.
And you want to be a dad?
Yeah, I want to be a dad.
And you got to get on
example.
top of these things, right?
Yeah,
or at least do the best you can, you know, because the cycle really begins at that point.
No, it really does. Also, shout out Gabe from Def Jam, who's my publicist, who's listening right now. I just had to take that moment.
All right,
shout
Gabe.
out Peter Caden.
All right, let's keep going. Shout out Steve Bottles.
Hey, everybody, Faisal, Chris Rue,
and of course,
Harrison.
Noah, who's worked very
Noah
hard
Shear.
to make this whole whole experience happen.
Yeah, he's in there.
Because
Me and Noah, sorry to interrupt you.
Go.
From the same place, went to the same elementary school in Gaithersburg, Maryland, Summit Hall Elementary.
Really?
Yes.
Didn't know each other though.
Didn't know. No, we didn't. But
Man.
he lived down the street. It's really crazy. It's weird because I'm trying to look at him, but he's awkwardly behind me. But he knows who he is.
Yeah, word up. And you've got a good team. And it's funny, you know, because you talk about having, this being the next album being your final album, there's things you want to do, and fatherhood being a part of that and everything else. And having had such a tough time growing up in your experience, as you've told so openly on this record, some of the things you went through as a kid. And, you know, it must be very prescient to you, really at the forefront of your mind, to ensure that you don't bring that baggage, or at least leave as much of that baggage behind when it's time to become a dad.
No, completely. The crazy thing about that, though, is like, and it's not going to happen until I have children, is understanding the balance. Because I've seen people who came from a bad background, and yet they made it out, then give their kids all the things they never had, and then their kids go mess up and become drug addicts or this or that or whatever. So it's about a fine balance. My neighbor, his name is Kevin. He has kids. They're really awesome, Paris and Grayson. And his wife Neff is the best, and they're my neighbors, and we moved in next to them. We bought the house. They're just the coolest, and their kids are amazing. Like, they're super smart and in college and high school and just so and I'm like, damn, how did this happen? And he's like, it's just about balance. You know, you can't be their friends, but you can't be too overbearing and too, you know, trust. You have to say, okay, go to the party, but if you go to the party, be safe, be smart, just stay in touch with it, things like that. So it's scary, but you know, that's a ways away, and I'm just excited. Like, I am stoked. I think about kids all the time. It's so crazy. Like, having kids is freaking weird because I'm like, nah, fam, I'm trying to enjoy myself. But that's one thing I know is like, I want this time for me and my wife, for her to be herself and independent and do her music and have fun and hit the road and do her thing as I'm doing my thing, and us doing our thing together, being married, so that because we'll never have these years again. So I want to make sure that we enjoy that. And I want to make sure she wants children when she's ready, and I want my children when I'm ready, and we go into that together, you know? And so that's why it's important. Like, music isn't everything, bro. You know what I mean? And like, my fans, my diehard fans, they're going to follow me no matter what I do, from acting to writing to everything, because the message is still there, and that's what's most important. And I'm still here to entertain, and I will always entertain. So the true fans, they'll have that. And another thing is, like, I didn't say I was like going to retire from music. It's just rap is annoying. I want to go sing ballads, fam. Like, I'm learning the piano right now, and like, I'm like truly learning like how to sing without autotune and utilizing my voice just naturally, and like, that's what I mean. Obviously, I love rap. I love hip hop. I'm like joking, but what I mean is,
you want
like,
to expand your palette.
Yeah, man.
I get it.
Totally, bro.
And acting as well. You've been doing acting classes?
Nah.
You don't need to.
Nah, dog.
You just got this.
Definitely. I'm totally gonna take some acting classes, but no, I've been like, I got some stuff going on.
You got some stuff. You were already working on some stuff.
Yeah, bro.
Movies or TV?
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
It's kind of tight. Can't get too into it, but all I'm saying is like, it's happening.
Really?
It's happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you have to audition for any of these things, or you just get picked up because you're Logic?
No, you know what's crazy? Got to audition, but the one thing that I did, I'm actually creating it, and that's all I'll say.
Oh, amazing. So you've come up with the idea, and you're going to get it made.
And I'm starring in it.
Oh.
And it's gangsta. But that's it.
Wow.
I know you.
Yes, you do.
You do this. You're
I do.
Like, yeah, just a little more.
Just a little. Come on.
But no.
Come on.
It.
Well, one thing that fans reckon they've cracked it is Ultra 85. Is that true?
Yes.
That is
true. You know
true.
what's so crazy?
Isn't that amazing?
Dude, okay.
8th and 5th. For these people, and set this up for the people that don't know, right? You put this lovely little piece on your artwork about explaining the album, and it flowed beautifully, and it was a really nicely written piece. No one would have ever read it and gone, it's a little bit off kilter. There must be a message in this. Someone decided it was the 8th and the 5th.
Word. Yeah.
throughout the whole thing.
So I actually put that. I said to decipher the letter, read every eighth and fifth word in this like crazy
you did. Right,
cursive,
right.
but like much earlier in the booklet, randomly, because there's all these writings and all these things.
Right. So you planted that.
It was super cool. And if you go to everybodyalbum.com, you can go look up the booklet, and it also comes with mission statements, so you can understand all the perspectives that I'm rapping from on this album, since I'm rapping from different perspectives. And yeah, so I said read every eighth and fifth word, and like, bro, the album was out for like 6 minutes. And somebody tweets me and they're like, "Oh, this is crazy, but I'm also sad, but this is great." Yeah, Ultra 85. So basically the message was like, thank you to all the fans reading this. I love you. I appreciate you guys. And it was like a really heartfelt, long like paragraph like of a letter. And it was really special. But every eighth and fifth word, it was something along the lines of, because I wrote it and never read it again.
For all the hardcore fans who are reading this right now, you've uncovered my the
hidden
next
message.
is my final album is going to be called Ultra 85.
And it will complete the saga.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is so cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah, because that's like some Da Vinci fun stuff.
Were you sort of a bit bummed it took people 6 minutes? I mean, it would have been nice if they found this 6 days, just at least 6 days.
I didn't think anybody was going to get
it.
it. What about you, Christian? Did you think somebody was going to get it that quick, honestly?
Yes.
Oh, man.
You're obsessed.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
I don't know. If I would have known that, I would have put it on like every eighth and fifth page or something.
You got to go deeper than that next time for your final one.
I know. It's all good.
Ultra 85 is the name of the. When did you come up with that title? At what point? Yeah. Oh, come on. You know me. Little something.
I came up with it. While working on this album, but I knew, because every album I work on, I'm working on another one. And so it's like,
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
No, not anymore.
Some ballads.
Oh,
anyway,
you keep saying that. Well, maybe we are going to get that, baby. That logic.
Hey.
Yeah. How's your octave falsetto octave?
I don't know.
How's your octave? You got to go low to high. You got to. You got to go high. Come on, man.
Yo,
this
what's
is
up,
R&B
dog?
business.
Can I get that feature?
This is.
How much you gonna charge me?
Oh man, you don't want
that feature.
You don't want to know, man. Like,
Hey.
I mean, I haven't jumped on the mic R&B style for a while, but last time I checked, I was thinking I was going at about 275, 300 a pop. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have Logic rolling in here. We're gonna hold on to him, like I said. Very important piece of music, and of course, with very important message. Like the whole album, there is nothing on the record that doesn't relate in some capacity to the title, which is everybody.
Yeah,
Something
that's crazy.
Something for everybody, literally.
Yeah, man. That's so weird. You want to know what's funny? This is the song I hated doing the most. I came up with that song and I sang the hook, and like that's the song that I worked on the longest, because I wanted to work on it the least, because I didn't want to do it. Because like the rest of the album, even though it's all heavy, it's so happy, right? It's so feel good. And I did that. I made sure that the album, all the production was extremely upbeat to combat the very
intense.
The severity of the subject matter.
Yes.
Except this song.
Yeah.
This is the one that's like really, and I wept like insanely when I heard this song with the live strings on it and everything. It just like really hit me and made me emotional, and not even necessarily because of the subject matter, but also just what it does. Sometimes music can do that to you, right? I cry a lot when I watch films, even if it's just like a beautiful part, not like romantic or somebody dying, but just something. It's like I remember there's a scene in Interstellar where Cooper sees his daughter Murph all grown up, and there's Hans Zimmer, man, just plays this incredible.
Everybody cried during that scene.
Yeah, and he's just holding himself. I know, but it's just like stuff like that. It just, I don't know. But even cool things too.
You must be a nightmare on a plane, because altitude makes it even worse.
Really?
Dude, I cried during Get Rich or Die Trying once.
Wait, does altitude?
You know the
are
bit
you
where his mouth's wide shut? I'm like, you can't speak. The dude can't speak.
Wait, are you serious about altitude?
Yeah, altitude makes you cry like a baby.
No.
Yeah. Seriously.
What?
Dude, I cried during an episode of If That's Delicious the other day.
Dude, are you serious? I didn't know that.
Seriously.
I know it makes you drunker.
That's true too.
Maybe
there's a correlation here.
I learned that the hard way on a private jet.
Oh, that's not the hard way.
No,
That's not the hard way. Trust me.
The hard way.
No,
for
it's
Bob.
not. No, it's not, man. You want to get drunk on a 27-hour flight economy class from London to New Zealand and be smashed on leg one? The second leg is the hard way. Trust me on that. You don't want to have a hangover for 12 hours on the way from like wherever.
Okay, you
Los
win.
Angeles to Auckland.
You win.
That's the hard way.
You got it. But you know what's funny? I've only ever had one real hangover, because I didn't start drinking until I was 25, and so I felt a little weird the first time I ever drank at my bachelor party, but I was fine. Dude, it was like 6 months ago, and I was with my buddy Brian Foster, who's like an incredible writer. He's super cool and funny. And I was at his house, and we were actually at our other friend's house playing Dungeons and Dragons, which I just started. I can't believe I rap. Anyway, so we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, right? And I'm drinking, and I only have like 2 or 3 drinks, but I didn't drink any water, and I forgot to eat because I was so excited, and I never did this. And I get to his house, and he puts Tron on his 3D television that's huge and puts 3D glasses on me, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I pass out and I wake up the next morning and I've never felt this thing ever. You feel like I can't even you have to get drunk and experience it. Not kids. I'm talking about humans, like adults. Anyway, what I'm saying is that you have to experience it firsthand and know what I'm talking about. Okay, and I had never experienced it. Kids don't drink, and I had never experienced it. Don't do drugs and go to school. And I never experienced
Brush
it.
your teeth.
And I woke up and it was the craziest thing. And then I had to go do a 3-hour live video game stream.
Amazing.
And I had to do it. And it was like, bro, it was like the hardest thing ever. But you know what? It's a wicked memory. It's awesome. And I get to talk about it right now.
Exactly.
Kids, don't drink. Don't drink, kids.
Eat your greens.
Eat your greens.
Hey, didn't you record, like, how did you get everybody set to get this album out of your system?
Oh, dude. So check this out. This is the crazy part. So I had all this, I had the ideas. I had a few skeletons. I probably had like 3 or 4 songs. But so I like went all out just so you can understand the magnitude of the studio. I spent $200,000 on my home studio, had it completely redone, like torn apart in my guest house basement. And it literally, you walk in and it's like you're in a crazy studio, which is so cool. I wanted that feeling to be able to walk into another universe. And so I waited for that to be done. Another cool thing is if you get the Everybody documentary, which comes with the deluxe version on iTunes only, you can see the creation of the album as well. So I had about 16 people living with me from the end of November to the end of December, and they're everybody, hey, who worked on this album. And it was just so organic and so fun and so amazing. And one person in particular, which was really crazy, is Paula McKeeva. And she's from the Caribbean. And so me and my wife, for our anniversary, because unfortunately we couldn't do a honeymoon because right after we got married, I jumped on a tour bus for 2 weeks and did a fan tour playing The Incredible True Story for fans. So Paula McKeeva, who's an amazing singer, me and my wife, we went to Atlantis Resort and Casino, and we're at the bar. And there's just this woman there just singing and just killing it. She's doing like Whitney Houston songs and like all these anthems. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then she's doing like Uptown Funk, Bruno Mars. So I'm like, all right, I got 1 in me, 2 in me. Let's go dance. And my wife's like, no. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going anyway. So I go up there and there's all these like older ladies. And I'm like dancing with these older ladies and like thrusting and like having fun. And then Paula, she's like, get up here, boy. Like, so I jump on the stage and I just start going ham. And then after I talked to her and I was like, look, all right, believe it or not, I rap. And this is going to sound really crazy, but I would love to fly you to Los Angeles, California to come sing on my album. Are you down? And she looked at me and was like, hell yeah, but like, are you crazy? And I was like, no, I'm not crazy, I promise. I was like, I'll have Def Jam and everybody reach out to you. Like, it's a real thing, I promise. And she's like, I've heard this before. And I was like, well, it's real this time. And then I flew her out. And she's just the coolest, man. And she destroyed it. She's on Confess. She's all over the whole album.
Amazing. That's an amazing story.
Yeah, it's really fun.
You guys should go on holiday more often.
I know. Who knows who we're going to meet? I really want to go to Tokyo. Have you ever been?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude.
I've been to Tokyo a few times. It's a great place.
I want to go to Tokyo
It's
so
mad.
bad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And I want to go to Australia.
Mm-hmm. You haven't been there yet?
No.
Oh my God, when you go down there, your fans are going to go crazy.
Dude, I haven't done like a true, like, I need to like really hit the world, man.
You know, fans are they're gonna absolutely petition me unless I, ask you about playing live at some point. And so I know that obviously you're gonna make that announcement at some point.
Yeah, I mean, duh. Right? You know, like, duh, guys. Like, yeah, I'm going to go on the road. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. I'm going to say it's going to be a big freaking tour. It's going to be huge. I'm headlining. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to happen. You know, I mean, with every album comes a tour. But we're just really focused on this release for now and just getting the music out because that's what's most important, and we want people to enjoy it and consume it before they're thinking about something else.
The other thing that I really want to just sort of get out in the open because I like many other people wanted to talk to you about this secret track at the end of this feature, but there's a reason why this isn't going to be discussed.
This is what I'll say. So. Right? Everybody knows what I'm talking about, but there's a super secret track at the end of this. Mm-hmm. And one thing that nobody knows is that the track is called Acceptance.
Right.
Which is really cool.
Okay, great.
And I'm not going to super get into it, and I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm not getting into it.
That's what we're looking
for.
Or
anyone, as of right now,
mm-hmm.
Is because I promised this person, I told them, I said, I want to use this and I don't want to use your name and I don't want to utilize your name to try to promote my album or push my album sales because it's not about that. You're my idol You did this out of love, and you did this from a place, and I'm telling you that that's how I want it, and I will not discuss it at the beginning process of promoting this album because it means so much to me, and he was like totally all good. He wasn't even tripping about it, but it was just one of those things I just really wanted him to know, like, that for me it wasn't about that, and that's all I'll say.
You definitely get past the last song. You should listen to the whole album from start to finish, and you will do. If you're a Logic fan, you've already consumed that multiple times, and then you're going to get beyond that into this area of of acceptance and this. I can say, you don't have to say it. I can say it. This track with J. Cole, which is incredible and well worth sticking all the way through to the end. And in this day and age, digital music, a lot of people really focus on detail like secret tracks, because what is a secret track in a world where everything's on demand? You can put something out and bury it wherever you want. So I love the fact that you've actually kind of paid respects to your album in that way, to the album format in that way. I think it's really cool.
For sure. You said it, not me.
I did. I can say it all day. J. Cole, Cole, Cole. J. Cole, J. Cole. J. Cole. J. Cole. J. Cole, J. Cole, J. Cole.
Love
I can say it all day.
Love that guy.
So many subjects that you've touched and spoken on this album, and not just the ones that necessarily speak on, your biracial upbringing and on race and all those things that you've had to tackle throughout your life.
Yeah.
But also things like anxiety,
totally.
Suicidal thoughts, mental health,
yeah,
and all that stuff. It's really important. I think it's more than ever now. We're seeing artists, young artists who really have experienced this in the modern age, now starting to speak openly about it. So you should be applauded for joining that chorus line, man, in a big way.
I want to say this. These are just a few of the things I discuss on this album, just so people know, okay? Mental health, domestic violence, mass shootings, drug abuse, racism, indigenous peoples, anxiety, depression, suicide, happiness, money, education, homophobia, upper, middle, lower class, fear, hate, acceptance, fame, religion, politics, money, childhood, gang violence, therapy, slavery, the universe, individuality, and of course, peace, love, and positivity.
So next time you're having a dinner party, if you want to put something on that's nice and lighthearted for everybody while they're having cheese and wine, Logic, everybody, it's out now.
Hey, swag.
So the tour, that's going to happen, and you'll make that announcement at some point very, very soon. We've dived in as much as we can. There's so much more we could talk about, but an hour is probably long enough. You're playing Kimmel tonight in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's crazy. With my buddy Damian Lamar Hudson, who is the Black Spider-Man, he'll be there performing with me and with a whole bunch of dancers and a bunch of stuff. It's going to be really fun. You guys should tune in to see it. It's going to be crazy.
People are freaking out. They're asking if there's 85 songs on Ultra 85. People already want to know.
Definitely not.
Definitely not 85 songs.
Definitely
not 85 songs.
I can't wait, man. When the time comes, I'll come back here and we'll discuss what that is all about. And the crazy thing is like, because people are like, what's the robot represent on the album cover? And it has to do with the next album.
Wow.
Hey,
there you go. There you go.
That's it.
You have a $200,000 recording studio and your last album is next? What's going on? You better get these R&B records out there, bro. I'm serious, because otherwise you have a very, very expensive games room with a console in it. I mean, I'm the only one who pointed that out. You're like, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to invest in this huge home studio and then I'm going to quit.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's it. It's over. You might drop it bombs. Bam!
Here it is. Are there things that you've laced throughout this project that people have yet to uncover?
Totally, 100%. Bunch of stuff that they got to figure it out themselves. Especially on the cover. There's so much. I'm not sure if there's a high-res version out yet. There's over 80 figures, and bro, there's like a lot of stuff there with 8s and 5s.
With 8s and 5s all attached to it, and there it is.
Different
Ultra
stuff.
85 and an 8 and a 5, and it's all making sense numerology. And wow, man, what an amazing journey you've been on, to get to this point now where you can actually sit down and all these ideas and all this creativity and all this nerdery and this detail that just consumes you on a day-to-day basis, because you're clearly OCD like me and millions of people all around the world.
Do you know how crazy it is that I get to be myself?
Yeah.
It's so tight. I get to be me, and I get to come up with stories and do weird, fun, funky stuff, and people like it. That's tight. That's tight. That's like what life is all about, man. When I first started, how come I can't get the complex cover, man? How come I can't have a radio hit, man? Who cares? Who cares, bro? Just got that complex cover, by the way. Who cares? Just be yourself and it'll happen. It's all good.
Who cares about going and performing on Kimmel or having an interview right there on Beats One Apple Music, both of which I just did today? But don't worry about it. Don't get consumed by that.
I'm going to be honest. I can't tell you how many times I talked to my manager. I'm serious. It was like, when's the Zane Lowe happening?
Bro,
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
Look, okay, in the spirit of honesty, you've been trying, we've been trying as well, man.
No, I don't mean it in a negative way. I'm talking about when I first came and I dropped Wrist. Right. And you knew about Bobby Tarantino before anybody. And you were like trying to get it. It was really fun. Bro, that was a huge moment for me, bro, because
Wow.
I've seen you interview so many people from Taylor Swift and just everybody, and I was like, bro, what's up? Like, where's mine? I need that, you know. But it's about like,
We're beyond that now.
no, but it's not even like, I probably wasn't even on radars at
Are
the
you
time.
joking? No, man. In the United Kingdom, when you first came out, I remember me and Semtex
yeah.
having a conversation about you, and Sem was
crazy.
just like, "This is the guy."
Thanks.
You know,
Semtex, bro.
Yeah, he's independent, but he's gonna eventually he's gonna team up with Def Jam, I think, and do this kind of collaborative thing through his business. And you know, everybody knew, man. Everybody knew.
Everybody
knew.
Everybody knew.
Everybody knew.
Everybody.
Logic, thank you for coming
Thank
in and
you,
hanging
bro.
out with us.
Thank you so much.
It's been an absolute joy.
Peace, love, positivity.
100%. And check out the record. Like I said, you know, if you turn on Apple Music right now, you'll trip over that thing. It's everywhere and for good reason. It's called Everybody, a deep conceptual record. The artist is now up and exiting the building. Make sure you check him out tonight on Kim. We'll look out for the tour dates to be announced at some point very, very soon. And like Rakim say, peace.